Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And to the Texas flag, we honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. We need to say that in the Texas House and Senate so that they remember it's indivisible. It's actually not going to be two states. All right. Thank you all for being here. We thank all of you for being here. We have the great honor, the privilege of being able to recognize Ruben Rosas. Oh, yeah, let's do a roll call first to let everybody know that we have a quorum. Israel Iribaldi.
Present.
Thank you. Jackie York.
Present.
Josh Acevedo.
Present.
Sergio Coronado.
Here.
Shane Haggerty isn't here yet, but he'll be here shortly. And Tanny Berg, I'm here. All right, so we have a quorum. So let us go ahead and honor a great and loyal staffer. You guys will join me by the flags.
I'd like to introduce Ruben Rosas. Ruben has been with us for 20 years. He's been an appraiser with us, went through all of his courses. He is now in charge of training our new commercial appraisers. He works under Michelle Martinez as his supervisor, and of course James Thompson as the director. Ruben is the one who's responsible for training our new appraisers that come into the commercial department. And he's, like I said, he's been with us since his daughter was just an infant. And so that kind of tells you. But he's here with his wife and his daughter. And Ruben, if you'd like to, we'd love to get a picture, and the board members would like to recognize you.
Let me read. Yeah, let's first. You know what's amazing as we get onto this board, what's amazing is we see the loyalty of the El Paso community that serves the Central Appraisal District. The people who are here have been here for a long time. They do a good job, and they understand that they are the transition between the citizens and the government. And I got to tell you, they do this with love, and we appreciate you a lot, Ruben. Let me read the certificate to you. This is a certificate of appreciation in recognition of 20 years of dedicated service, and it's awarded to Ruben P. Rosas. And his leg will get better. It's a promise. You can come up. Why don't you recognize your wife and your daughter?
Sure. My wife Victoria and my daughter Victoria.
Victoria and Victoria. Come on up, Victoria. We know how old you are, Victoria. You're just barely 20. They just said you are a baby.
Almost 20. Never seen you in Utah.
Good for you.
Now it's
You
20.
just got to stay in El Paso. That's your requirements. You can't leave. Graduate UTEP, but you got to come back. You got to.
We'll see.
We don't want you going away. Thank you, Ruben. Again, thank you for what you do.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So we do have, we got some recognition of the El Paso Veterans and Writers Association. Are they here?
Yes, sir. Tracy, would you like to get up and introduce?
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to introduce Darryl Mon. He's been a great asset to us. He has been helping me with the appraisal review members advertising, so that's why we're getting a lot of them. But Darryl Mon, please.
How do we do this?
Just if you'd like to say a few words, and then you can make your presentation.
If you'd been here 20 years, we'd have given you a certificate.
I think I have to turn 21st of year.
I agree.
Ms. Kilgore, would you join me?
Yes, sir.
Commissioner, would you join me?
Yes, sir.
Don't call me sir. I work for you. I work with you.
I know, we did.
Good to see you. I have the honor of presenting you this plaque. not just because you put up with me when we're in public and I got all these crazy ideas, but because you care about us. Your leadership and working with especially with the veterans community, the veterans capital of the USA, really reflects on you and the entire Central Appraisal District. It's been an honor, and it will continue to be. You're doing an awesome job. With great honor, I present the VRA, the El Paso Veterans and Riders Plaque, to El Paso Central Appraisal District, and sincerest appreciation for your support in the 7th Annual Veterans Food Drive, and in your continued support of our veterans community. Your dedication, sincere efforts reflect greatly upon your appreciation of our veterans and our community. Given this 5th day of September 2023, El Paso Veterans and Riders Association. This is a little bit dated. This is a little bit dated only because she actually came in very strongly, Central Appraisal District did, in our 7th Annual Food Drive and really helped make it. And it's been an honor to work with her and other things that they do for our veterans community. And with this initiative with Commissioner Coronado and the County of El Paso on the Veterans Capital USA has been a big thing. And this shows how all levels of government can work together, support our community, and support our veterans. I really appreciate what you've done for us. You're an amazing person, and
Could you tell my husband that? No.
I do accept monetary donations on behalf of the, no.
Thank you so much. I appreciate
We're
that.
going to do pictures on this later?
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Miss Tracy Carter, El Paso Central Appraisal District. If you'd done as well as Dan, you would have got the bigger plaque, but you're trying, so we appreciate that. In sincerest appreciation of your support of the 7th Annual Veterans Food Drive and your continued support of our veterans and community, your dedication and sincere efforts reflect greatly upon yourself, your love for our veterans community, and the El Paso community. Given this 5th day of September 2023, El Paso Veterans and Riders Association. I think I've aged this wonderful lady about 20 years. I think she should get a 20-year certificate for that, just for putting up with me. But Tracy, you've been the lead on a lot of things. You've worked with us. We've got 7 veterans now on the review boards. We're pushing for more. You've worked with Ms. Kilgore, getting all the information out to us. The veterans are very aware. The community can be very aware on how they can participate. But they're also becoming aware of how to apply for benefits and how to what their entitlements. And you've worked with us on a lot of stuff. You've helped us work with the website, and it's turned into a phenomenal thing. Veterans are very appreciative of this. We understand a lot of how because of your patience and Ms. Kilgore's patience, we understand a lot more about how our property taxes are determined. And that means a lot to us because now we're not flying blind. The reason why you both got the 5th day of September, that's my birthday. So there's been no excuses. And you will help me remind him, Commissioner?
Right, remember it's his birthday, give him a gift every year.
So I'm a September baby too, so.
The best month of the year. The best babies are born in September. So, do you want to present this? Are we going to go by the wall? Can we?
Board members, would you like to?
Sure.
This is for all of our staff and all the work that they do, not just through the appraisal district, but on their own initiatives to help with the veterans and to help educate the veterans. So.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Because I run into Jackie. Daryl, that was intentional.
I was going to say something, but I won't.
Yes, sir. Put this away so he doesn't smush it. We thank you for your service and all veterans,
but especially those who live here in El Paso. We thank you for your service, and we appreciate your kind words, and we recognize how great our staff is. We're very, very proud of them.
You've known me for what?
I've known you for 30 years. I've known you forever. I remember.
But they have earned it.
They have earned it. They have earned it. And now we know when your birthday is, so if you get a bunch of presents, you'll know why, okay?
But they're going to the veterans. You don't get to keep them.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your
Mr. Mark.
service.
Thank you all for supporting.
All right, Chief Appraiser affirmation. You can affirm us?
Yes, well, I just want to affirm that all of the entities rolled over and reappointed the Board of Directors for this next 12 months, since everything is going to change. The Lower Valley entities, we ended up with a tie. And per the tax code, the Chief Appraiser has a specific process that have to follow to break up the tie. We did that. We did it with witnesses. So I just wanted to affirm that the members from the Lower Valley are Ed Mena and Walter Miller. They were the ones who were chosen. So we wanted to get that on record.
So for those of you who have not been here as often as others, there's major changes to the composition of this board, and that will happen before the end of this actual fiscal year, before the end of this calendar year. And we'll have 3 members that are elected at large from the community. So there are going to be major adjustments into the composition of this board. Each of the entities is going to be restricted in the memberships that it can have. And we've talked about it in past meetings. If you have any questions, you can ask our attorney after the meeting.
Yep, that'll be part of the training session today.
Oh, okay, good. All right. Anything else?
Nope, other,
All right. Oath of office ceremony.
we have Honorable Edward Gamboa. He is the El Paso County Probate Court number 2. And we are so privileged. Thank you for coming in, Judge.
You're welcome.
He is always given the oath of office to our
I thought I had been here 2 months ago, but the year passes fast.
Time flies.
Time flies. I was talking to her. I said, when we're young, it's like a steam locomotive. Now it's like Japanese fast train. and nothing makes my heart more happy than to give the oath to the board that manages the monies that are taken from me every year.
Sadly, we don't manage it. We only
I know, I
advise
said manage it. All right, so with everybody, please stand up and take the oath. And as a matter of fact, I'm also a September baby, so maybe we can make a association here. So raise your right hands. I'm going to say I and then state your name, okay? So I
I, Tammy Burr,
Jackie York,
do solemnly swear
solemnly
solemnly
swear
swear
that I will faithfully execute the duties
that I will faithfully execute the duties
of the office as a member of the board
the office as a member of the board
of directors of the El Paso Central Appraisal District
of directors of the El Paso Central Appraisal District
of the state of Texas
of the state of Texas,
and will,
and
will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
defend
the Constitution and laws of the United
Constitution and
States
laws
laws of the United States
United States.
and of this state, so help me
This
God.
state, Texas. So,
So good luck and do the right thing.
thank you very much, Judge.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, Pastor.
We really appreciate that he gives of his time to do this every year. Thank you. We're very, very honored to have you show up for our meeting. We appreciate it.
So item 5 is selection of the board of directors and officers, and normally, this is kind of like an anomaly. This year is not going to be an exact normal year. So Dinah and I talked about it. My thought, and I've talked to some of you about it, my thought is that we keep things status quo because it's going to change so dramatically at the end of the year. For somebody to come along now and start, it would be very, very, very difficult. So my recommendation is, and it's up to you, but my recommendation to you is maybe to think about keeping everybody who's, Josh is there as vice president, Shane is our secretary. Just let's keep everybody where they are until we figure out how this is going to land.
I agree. Do we need a motion for that?
Now, we do need a motion for that.
I move to keep Tony Berg as president,
Chair.
as chair, Josh Acevedo as
Vice
chair-elect,
Chair.
vice chair. And, oh my goodness, I just drew a blank. Shane
Haggerty.
Haggerty, I know
He's just a
that. I've
realtor.
known him
He's
forever.
just a realtor.
As secretary, yeah, I've known him forever, as secretary treasurer.
Second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes unanimously. All right. As always, do we have anybody who's signed up for public comment?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. So we have the minutes. You have in your packet the minutes of our November 16th meeting. That was our last meeting. We didn't have one in December. If you look at it, if you haven't had a chance to look at it. And if you have and you're ready to go, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as they've been submitted.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor of accepting the minutes of November 16th, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Discussion action on possible regarding an agricultural advisory board that we talked about. I think we talked about it last meeting, of the possibility of setting up maybe an advisory board to talk about the agricultural property in our county.
Right. There is a requirement under Tax Code Section 6.12 that all appraisal districts have an agricultural advisory board that have agricultural productivity evaluations. We have spoken to our current board members, who are John Spence, William Bill Thomas, Leanne Lovelady, Lorenzo Ceballos, and Jim Ivy, and they've all agreed to serve another year. So we're presenting the slate for approval. They visit with us through the phone if we have any questions or anything, we call them, but once a year, it's usually in March. They come in, we have a meeting. Crystal Pickett, who's the manager of the residential department, sits with them, and they help us determine our price per acre on our pecans and on our row crop based on the market. And of course, they give us lease information on the leases to help us set our values. So we are recommending that the Agricultural Advisory Board of 2023 be carried over to 2024.
And they have no authority other than advising. They're basically an advisory board.
Yes.
Any questions? We do need a motion to approve them. So moved.
Yes.
Need a motion to approve them?
Second.
Second?
Who moved?
Josh. And Sergio seconded. Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Taxpayer liaison report. Who is that taxpayer liaison?
Who is that school?
Good evening, Board of Directors. Tracy Carter, Taxpayer Liaison Officer. I did put 2 blue folders right in front of you all. If you all can please open that up. I did receive 2 administrative complaints. I am going to summarize them. Mr. Medina, I came in, he filed a complaint saying that he came in that he had the disability, the homestead, and the over 65 exemption. Well, first he had the disability and the homestead. So the time he turned 65, he came and refiled for the over 65 exemption. So he was upset because he didn't have the disability, the homestead, and the over 65 exemption. I explained to him that it's the same discount as the disability, the over 65, that he had a choice of either one. And that currently right now he has the over 65 exemption because he applied for that in October.
Tracy, is that what he wanted, was both?
Yes. Well, he wanted to make sure that he had the same discounts. He wanted more.
Got it.
But the disability discount and the over 65 exemption discount gives you the same discount. So I explained to him the process of the exemptions, and he was happy with my response. And for Mr. Gerardo Chacon, he had 2 hearings. After reviewing the hearings from Mr. Chacon, I felt on one of the first hearings, after I listened to it, I felt that the appraisal review board member was entering evidence on his behalf and what he has experienced. So I felt that was unfair. So I talked to the ARB chairman, we listened to the case, and he went ahead and decided to hear it again. And then on the other property that Mr. Chacon had, he was making some comments harassing the appraisers. The chairman of the ARB panel was not having it, so decided to go ahead and ask Mr. Chacon to leave the panel because of his behavior. So Mr. Chacon left, and again, I talked to the chairman of the Appraisal Review Board because he didn't have a hearing. He wasn't heard. So they went ahead and reheard it again also. So both of them were taken care of. Both of them had Mr. Chacon had both of his hearings reheard. Again, Judge Bettis appointed 45 members, 10 of them are new ARB members, and 11 of them are ARB members that were reappointed. They did appoint the chairman for the Appraisal Review Board, Mr. Mona, Ms. Urea as deputy secretary, and Ms. Urea as secretary, and deputy secretary Robert McCoy, who is the same officers from the year before. The Appraisal Review Board was in session from January 16th to the 18th. That's why the parking lot was busy. The state comptroller will be providing 2 days of ARB training, and also this year, they're going to start providing taxpayer liaison officer training. So that is going to be wonderful. I'm looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to our conference in February to give us more guidance on appointing for the board of directors to appoint the Appraisal Review Board. And that is it. Do y'all have any questions?
Any questions? Tracy? You're doing a great job, Tracy. We appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
All right, Chief Appraiser report.
Okay, board members, a couple of things I wanted to go over with you. First of all, I have something that just happened. We had a shooting at our building Monday night. We came to work on Tuesday. We were off on Martin Luther King, came to work on Tuesday. And 3 of our windows in our 3rd floor, our top floor here, had been shot at. In our HR office for Ms. Melendez, it shattered, the glasses got all these, didn't totally shatter it out, but that has to be replaced, and 2 other windows on the same floor, the same side. It was like a pellet or high-powered pellet. It was not a bullet. We had the officer come right away and look at it and made a report, so we have a case number and a detective that we're dealing with. When we saw the first one, we thought just mischievous, but then we saw 2 more. So we were worried that it was a strike against us, the appraisal district. Rick Medina was able to look at our cameras. Thank you, board members, for allowing us to have that kind of security. And we were able to see that Monday night there was somebody walking across the street who stopped about halfway down and did a 360 all the way around, shooting a gun in the air. So we don't think it was aimed at us specifically. We think it was someone doing this. Mr. Medina is in touch with the other businesses around us to see if they had any damage. We did report it to the insurance company. We are hoping that we'll get some funding from our insurance because about 4 years ago, my window was shot at, and it was about $3,800 to replace that. We have 3 that we have to replace. So we've already talked to Baker Glass. They know the measurements of the glass, but they are special size. So that will take a little while. It's not going to happen overnight. And because of the windstorm, they are very backlogged right now with broken glass and cars and houses. So, but I did want to let the board know of that incident and what we did. Immediately acted on it and filed a report. So
Walter's not here, so I'll play Walter for a minute. So
right.
Do we have to get 3 estimates?
No.
All right, so I'm playing
No.
Walter.
It's a very unique size window, and they have our information. So
So we don't have to get 3 estimates.
no, sir.
And the insurance company is going to get covered. Are we covered?
Well, that's what we're waiting for them to. Did you find out, Rick?
Yeah, they said they pretty much go with the estimate that
They would cover it?
Do we have a deductible?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. But
Well, I mean, it's going to be subject to that deductible.
Deductible,
So
right.
if it's $2,500, I mean, it's
Yeah, it'd still be, because we're figuring about $4,200 to $4,500
per window.
per window. So if our deductible is $2,500, we're still, a lot better off with 3
You need to figure
windows.
out what the deductible is.
Yeah, and it's going to be labor intensive. We'll have to wait, so where we don't have any hearings, because they'll have to bring, like the bucket trucks and the ladder trucks, because they'll have to go from the front parking lot up onto the 3rd floor.
They might be able to do it early in the morning, though.
Sure,
They
yeah.
can start at 7, then it doesn't bother us. I mean, they can do it before we ever come to work.
Oh, no, it'll take
take them
several
most of the
hours,
day,
yeah.
But they can start early enough. For
The reason they can't do it inside is because the bottom part of the window has a frame. So it has to come from the outside because you can't take that frame off. It's part of the building structure. So, but they're going to come and give us an estimate and tell us what they can and can't do. But that's going to be about a couple of weeks. They said 5 to 7 days. But we went ahead, immediately took pictures, sent pictures to the insurance company, sent pictures to the detective, the police department, our police officer that we have here. And of course, during the hearings, we have 2 officers, one on the 3rd floor and one on the 1st floor. Immediately, the one on the 3rd floor came over, took his pictures, made his report as soon as we saw it when we came to work on Tuesday. So we were able to get that information. So, one of the things that we will be doing is we will be starting to visit with all of the taxing entities a little bit earlier than we normally do. We normally wait till March to go out and visit with the taxing entities and give them a kind of pre-preliminary estimate on values. But because there's so many changes in the election of the board members and the appointment of the board members and how all that works, plus with the school districts, we will have to go to, the school districts will actually have to put on their agenda to allow the appraisal district to do the property value study. If we get a negative result, then we'll have to bring that to our board of directors, to you guys, and have you approve what the school district approved for us to do. That, yes, okay, we can do that. So we're going to start early because we realize school districts, their agendas, if you want something on the agenda, sometimes it's 3 months in advance that you have to notify them. So we'll be visiting with the entities once we get more detail and some clarification and some documentation. Attorneys are going to help us put together some sample resolutions. The mobile unit will be here to collect taxes. The delinquent date is February 1, have to be paid before that. So the mobile unit's going to be here Thursday and Friday, the 25th and 26th, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, the 29th, 30th, and 31st. So the last 5 work days of January. We've already visited with the city, and we're all set. We've got an agreement there. And I thought it was interesting. Last year, in 2023, they collected $4.2 million in tax payments. They had about right under 1,500 transactions in those 5 days. So it averaged to just right around 300 per day transactions and an amount of about $840,000 per day that they collected in just the 5 days. In difference, the county also starts collecting. They've been collecting taxes, and they averaged about $847,000 in the whole time they were doing it. We averaged $840,000 in the 5 days. We've already had people come in this week saying, "I'm here to pay them." So, no, not till next week. Well, no, I was here last year at this time. Well, no, you were here last year in a couple more days. So, the county did it for 4 months, and they averaged about $622,000 per day, and we averaged $840,000 per day. So I think there's a lot of folks. They averaged about 216 transactions per day in 4 months, and we averaged, what did I say, about almost 300 per day. So a lot of the public likes to come here. It's central. They can come in, the mobile unit's right there. They can park here. We have parking. This is where we utilize our taxpayer liaison officer, Tracy Carter. If they come in and don't have a bill, we don't send them back home to get the bill. She sits down with them at a computer so that they can print their bill. We don't charge them for that. It's a public service. So then they can go out and pay for that, pay their taxes. So that has been very, very helpful. And other than that, unless anybody has any questions, that's the end of my report.
You want to talk about Houston a little bit?
Houston, oh yes. Okay, so Houston TAD conference is coming up. They're going to have quite a bit on the agenda. The board of directors section of it will be dealing a lot with the changes that have happened with the 2023 legislation. And so Tracy Carter will be there at those sessions, and she'll be able to bring in March a report to the board members that were not there, and she'll make copies of any handouts or anything. most of what they do now is the handouts are, online. You go online and you can watch it from your phone, but we'll make sure that everybody has access. We'll be able to print those here and give that information to y'all. We're very excited about some of the sessions that are going to be there. So we'll make sure for those of you who can't go that we'll get that information to you.
It's from a Sunday to a Wednesday, and you're all invited if you can go, that'd be great.
We know for sure
Sergio.
Commissioner Coronado's going and Mr. Berg's going. So we got those reservations in. We're down to the deadline of the early bird, and right now there's no hotels. So there's a waiting list on hotels. There are some satellite hotels that we can't put people in, but the way they did the room reservations this year was a struggle, but we did get everybody a room. So
It's very informative, but it's tedious. I mean, you go all day long, so it's a lot of sessions going hour after hour. But it's very worthwhile. It gives you a lot of insight into what's going on in this business throughout the state. And sometimes you don't want to know. But sometimes it's important to know. So, all right. Any questions of our chief appraiser?
What are the dates for that?
It's like mid-February now.
3rd, I think. 20th.
18th through the 21st.
21.
Yeah.
18th through the 21st of February.
Right after it.
Okay? All right. Any other business before we go into executive session? And I guess your presentation is executive session? Is that what it's going
No, it's separate. It's separately agendized. So we can adjourn.
Okay. I want to give people a chance to leave. Some people have to leave.
Right. We totally, because it is training, we set it on its own agenda.
Yeah, the E-session should be fairly quick.
I don't believe we have any reason to go to executive session, do we?
No, sir, we do not.
One-
So you can adjourn.
One item I think we do need to make the board aware of, singular item, it'll take less than.
In
5
executive,
Josh, wait 1 second. He thinks that there may be something we have to vote on.
okay, in executive, we went into executive.
In executive or?
In executive, just
All
one
right, so
item.
just 1 second in the executive session.
Less
so
than
that-
5 minutes.
Oh, what time do you want to go into executive session?
Right now. We'll go in at 30 after,
5:38.
5:38.
whatever it says there, secretary. Shane has to sign that. appreciate you a lot. So we're going to go back on record for the special session, a training session to understand, I don't even know what we're going to understand, to understand the new law regarding the composition of Central Appraisal District Board of Trustees, directors throughout the state of Texas. So this is something brand new. It was just passed by the legislature in 2023, but it's implemented in 2024. You're going to be shocked at what they do.
Can I get you to say when we're back from executive?
We are back at exactly 10 minutes to 6, is that right?
Okay.
5:50?
And
Well,
can we
5:50.
adjourn the meeting?
And I'm adjourning the executive committee meeting, and I'm calling this special session, training session to order, I guess, if we need to.
Yep.
But it's not going to have any business. This isn't a business session.
No.
And Joe,